Welcome to another broadcast of The Truth of the Matter Is with Mary and Pam. We are so excited to have you come and join us again today. We're excited because we have some special guests here with us today, and we're going to let them introduce themselves.
My name is Marcus Richardson. I'm a community activist here in Columbia, Missouri. I am part of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, Columbia, Missouri chapter.
Use Miss Mary's. My name is DeMarcus Thomas Brown. I am also a community activist. Just want to see the enrichment in the community, and we are working together with bringing the Southern Christian Leadership Conference here to Columbia to work alongside with and on par with the NAACP of the Columbia chapter. And so it's an honor to be here, and we have great footprints we are following behind and getting into work.
And of course, I'm Mary Ratliff. I'm president of the Columbia NAACP and serve also vice chair of the When She Vote women group that we just brought together. And we are so happy to have these community activists here tonight. Now, I want to tell that Miss Pamela that we got men here that we're working with tonight, okay? Because our men in our community are going to take that lead that she's talking about, and I am so proud of her for giving the respect to our black men, because for everybody that know me, they know that I don't allow anybody to say, sometimes people will say, oh, you can't find any good black man, and I go, don't tell me that, because I had one, a husband, and I had one, my father, who were excellent, and I have seen and worked with many men of courage, many men that we can look up to, and I am so proud to see these young men stepping forward and to say that yes, men are involved. Yes, our men in our community are concerned about the community issues that we have to deal with. So, and I've not worked with the Marcus for as long as I worked with Marcus, of course, when he was a little boy, and watched him grow up into a very busy, highly respected man. And so I'm so proud of them taking, and as I work in the community, I see them in activities. In fact, we serve on the board together with a Missourian. And so we're trying to make sure that the Missourian, that those newspapers, because I wrote them a letter, and I told them that they were doing a very poor job of covering the African American community, and that when we have a shooting, a killing, or some disturbance going on, that they are quick to put that on front page and to put it on the news, but they are very, very slow when we are doing good things in the community. And so we want to make sure that the community know that we got people out there that are working for the betterment of our community.
Right.
Okay? All right. Okay. And so, which one of you want to start by telling? Okay, you want to talk with me about what you all are developing in Columbia for the men, for the people of Columbia to be just one more group to be doing the work that we are all about. So, just tell us in your own way.
Yeah, I'll start out, and Reverend Richardson can add and further put some meat around it. But one of the things we saw was, just to be frank, Sister Ratliff, we see you out here. Pam, we see y'all out here. Mm-hmm. And I think some of the entities in Columbia, Boone County, and the state, down Jefferson City, think, well, we know Mary Ratliff's gonna come, but we can just try to appease Mary. And it's like, no, she has a group of people that will come in here, men, that will come in here and add voice to say, no, it's not just Sister Ratliff. Yes. We are here and we're adding to. And so we saw that in, with the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, just the attitude. I mean, Reverend Richardson is a tried and true Baptist preacher. And that's what you're going to get. That's what he is. That's who he is on Monday. That's who he is on Sunday. And just adding to bringing that just element to entice the churches into the streets, because we got to be out here, feet on the ground. They got to know that when Miss Mary shows up, if we don't listen to some of the things coming out of her mouth, there's going to be people who are going to be boots on the ground and say, "Hey, we here. We here to show up." And so that's what we're hoping to bring. We want to really get to the men. We want to those great men you spoke of. We want to unify and bring them out and say, "Hey, you've done a great job in your family, in your home, in your church. Do a great job out here. Adopt our community and work with us as we're working alongside these women so that y'all are not disrespected." I know that's one thing where we show up to where it's like, hey, we want to make sure they know y'all better not disrespect, right? Because we're here, right? She's not alone. So that's some of the things we're doing, community enrichment, things like that, looking at a holistic approach to how do we uplift our community as well as do our civil duty.
Right. And also too, we began this work in 2016 behind a shooting here in Columbia, and I had contacted a couple of the older pastors in town and said, I'm tired of the church being silent on all this stuff going on in Columbia. I said, how much longer are we just going to sit back and allow this to happen without saying anything? I said, these are our members and our children, and we say nothing. And so we convened a meeting at Friendship back in 2016. Here we are in 2024. We're still at it. But of course, my background is the church. And so I bring in the church element to this work because I believe that it all starts in the church. We know we can go back to the civil rights movement and those, and we can see that it started in the church. Even with Dr. King, we always say Dr. King, but we forget it's Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And so we always want to make sure that we highlight that first. And so with the SCLC coming in, we want to look at preserving our history here in Columbia, continue to doing the work, but also too, we want to look at helping these churches out as well too. You may not have a community activist in your church, but what can we do to help you? What can we do to preserve your history? Because a lot of these neighborhoods, a lot of these towns, or a lot of these people are connected back to the church. So when we're losing our Black community in Columbia, so goes the church.
That's
it. And that's the element that I bring to the table.
So you know, a lot of people don't realize they say that there's no place for politics in the church. And we always go back and start talking about politics that even Jesus was dealing with politics. When he turned those tables over, that was politics. And when Moses, when he went down to speak, it was all political. That was the government, as we are often told by Miss Ratliff over here. She makes sure we know that it was all political. So from the beginning of time, politics has been involved with the church.
That's right. Yeah.
And so I'm just so glad that you all have now stepped forward to take the lead, because we do need men to be out in front. Not that, you know, the torch hasn't been kind of carried on, but we want to lift it to the next level.
We want to do it together.
What I think too, I think too, one of the issues that we have ran into is that in different areas, right? So we know that a lot of our Black males are incarcerated. We know what the incarceration rate looks like, and so we have been running into that issue down through these few years that we've been doing this. That yes, we want men, but the problem is the men that who we have, some are coming out of prison. Yes. Some are untrained. Some don't know how to be a man because they didn't have a father in their life. That's right. And so you're having to retrain them how to be a boy to a man to a grown man. Yes. And so that makes the process a little bit longer. Is it worth it? Yes, it's worth it. Yes, but we want to make sure that we are investing back into our our men in our community, regardless of what their background is.
So see, Reverend Richardson, that's what happened. And when we talk about and we're dwelling a lot on the Willie Lynch's speech for enslavement, you know, that's what they did. They enslaved our young men.
That's right.
They enslaved our minds so that our young men's minds were for enslaved.
That's right.
And so that they knew that the man was the strength of the family, and not that we're not downplaying the woman's role at all, because we go hand in hand, we go together.
That's right.
And the men enhance the women enhance the men, and women and I respected my husband, the leadership that I had. My husband always respected, but I always respected him. as my husband,
and that's one of
as
the
the
things I
head
share.
of our house, you know.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I share with people. I say, when I was coming up, of course, I was coming up in the church. I remember your husband. I remember Deacon Ratliff. I remember your dad.
Yes.
I remember your mom.
Yes.
I was alive. I was a little kid with those. But I knew them there, and we could go to the churches, right? We go to Lock Providence, see Deacon Smith. We can go to Sugar Grove, see George Williams. We go to Progressive to see Harold Warren. These are the men that our community produced to be in leadership, whether they was doing political or whether they were just giving someone a helping hand. Or I can remember I was thinking on the way here. I said, one of the things that my grandfather taught me was I remember every holiday. It didn't matter if it was 4th of July, Thanksgiving, Christmas. It didn't matter what it was. Before we ate, before anybody touched anything, my grandma and grandpa made plates, and we would have to deliver plates around Columbia to the elderly people who couldn't get out and get food and do that. And we would ride around Columbia on the holiday, giving out food. It happened every holiday. It didn't matter what holiday it was, whether we was barbecuing, whether we was having, a holiday. And that's the first thing we did before anybody. And that always resonated with me. So it was always the men who I looked up to.
And I think too, like when we talk about the church and I think it's strategic for the government to try to pull church and politics away from each other.
Absolutely.
Because if we remember, it's the politicians that killed Jesus.
Absolutely.
That's what, because he was getting too much power,
Right.
and they were having to relinquish their power because Jesus had the heart of the people.
Right.
And we see that what happened with Reverend Dr. King. When you get too close to the heartstrings of the people, then we got to do something about you. Because now, so as the people go, so goes our nation, right? And so as you have the NAACP and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, one thing I saw, I went to Pascal's in Atlanta, and they had the table set with Dr. King and all, and you had the NAACP and the Southern Christian Leadership working together. SNCC was involved in that, and it wasn't just men. It was men. At every picture you see is men and women.
Bates and all of those.
Just all around the table working together. And like you said, Sister Ratliff, it takes the image of both. It's a powerhouse, and you saw that. And to be completely honest, for the Black community, the women have held our community together for years because of the onslaught of what's happened with men. And so even the initiative with Good Dads, we're looking to bring those men back to, and not to replace. I think sometimes the men come in and say, okay, now look, you step to the side, it's my turn. No, you lost your mind. You come in here and now how can I add to and work together? And that's what we love with even coming into. We were very clear with everybody. What we say all the time, we talked to Mary Ratliff. Don't get into it. We talk. Matter of fact, we talked to Mary Ratliff. We work with Mary Ratliff. We asking Mary what needs to be in here. Don't get it twisted, because we're not sure. Because people also want to segment us and play us against each other and say, well, this group, no. You're gonna have to go around on the other side, and guess we're gonna be there, and guess who else is gonna be there? Miss Mary Ratliff, Pam there, because this is a unified front.
Absolutely.
So that we see the image of both coming together and being able to carry the torch. Because like you said, Pam, y'all been carrying the torch. The work has been going. The voices have been there, and it's the accentuation. Because my great-grandfather was a deacon in Second Baptist.
Mr. Bush.
Mr. Arthur Bush. And my grandma is interesting. Georgia Bush. Oh, I love that woman. That woman, she loved us.
Yes, she did.
But with discipline and with her heart.
And that's what they used to say at Second Baptist Church. Don't mess with Miss Bush's children. I remember that. And I know you remember that. I know that was a thing in the thing, because she was out there helping take care of those children, and that is so important. And the thing about it, and I think that's one of the reasons why we're successful, and that's one of the reasons why I believe that the NAACP is successful, because it was founded on our religious beliefs, and that am I my brother's keeper? Yes, we are. And when to those who much is given, much is required. That's the way I feel about mine. I feel that God has been very good to me, been very good to me in my standings, in my health, and all of those, my longevity of my life, all of those things. God has been good to me, and so I feel like I am standing on the shoulders of Harriet Tubman, Daisy Bates, and then I just tell everybody, I was watching TV when they were protesting an activity that went on in New York. And I looked up there, and there was I was on the board with Hazel Dukes, who has been a long time, longer than me, as president of the New York State NAACP. And she's old now. She's 96 years old.
Wow.
But she was still out there, standing up front with them, fighting for what was right, and that's what, because that she said this little girl from Alabama who came out of Alabama having nothing, got to New York. I don't remember how she got there, but got to New York and started to work and started to believe in the civil rights that she had brought with her from down south by watching those people work. And she said, I want to give back. She said she got a scholarship. She was fortunate enough to get a scholarship to go to college in Alabama. And she said, I am going to give back because somebody gave to me. And so one of the things that I realized, I'm standing on the shoulders. I'm going, how can we, as Black people, not get out here and register and vote? Why will we allow an intelligent, exceptional Black woman to be able to run for the president of the United States of America, and all of us not out there so proud, shaking the bushes? And I mean, she is so intelligent.
Because
she is the most qualified.
But we've fallen back on just what you said, the Willie Lynch.
On the Willie Lynch.
That's what it is. And for those that haven't read it, that's what that was all about. It was to divide and conquer. It was a way to enchain, or to put our minds in chains.
Well, they know if it's physical that you're that you will die someday. But if you're living and you enslave the mind,
right?
The mind is what tells us what to do, the heart and the mind.
And that's what
that's what they've done all these years.
Right, and that's what has been, that's the broken link. That is what is happening when it comes to, we don't like her because, we don't like her because she thinks she's too Black. She's not Black enough. Her hair looks like this. She was Black when she went to the restaurant when she was a kid, before she became Kamala running for something. She changed all of a sudden. I guarantee your birth certificate as Black or African American.
And she said, I was born Black, I'm Black now, and I'll die Black.
Exactly.
And that's exactly, and there's nothing, and that's what I want us to bring to the table for our people, is that when James Brown made that movie, I'm Black and I'm Proud, I caught right on to that, because I thought, I know that's where I am. I have no inferiorities about being Black. And we need not, and jump in whenever you get ready, but we have no excuses to make because we are Black.
Because my question would be, what do you see? I know you're supposed to hear from us.
That's okay.
What do you see is the biggest need here in Columbia as far as for our Black community, right? Because if we're gonna work together, and of course we work together, but if we're gonna move forward with SCLC and NAACP, what is it that we can get behind? I know we can get behind the voting, but what is it that we can do to uplift our Black community here in Columbia?
The first thing that we need to do is to identify the leadership, real leadership. Not everybody that, I don't want to say it, Juneteenth.
I was on the committee, Sister Ratliff.
Organizations came out I never heard of before, And I don't have no problem with the folks getting the money. I just want you to do the work.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just do the work. But that's when I say identify the people that are going to work. Don't just come when there's a TV camera there, when there's money there, and that sort of thing. We need you to come to a meeting when we can sit down in a meeting, just us. We can sit down and decide how we're going to move forward together. How we're going to move forward together, and no big eyes and no little U's.
But then we have to work together, and then we have to not be bought.
Oh, that's the whole thing. That's the biggest thing, because once we get in positions, people don't know what bought means.
Yeah, they look and they say, "Oh, Marcus done arrived. He has gotten to the top of that. So then I'm gonna go over here and what is it that I think he needs? What can I offer him? that's going to make him be in my corner
That's right.
and do the work that I need him to do to uplift me.
Mhm. And it may not be for the betterment of your community.
Yeah.
But we do that. We do, and I call it sellouts. We do that all the time.
And I'm gonna tell you, we've been identifying this as we've been talking around it, but there's a reason it started in the church, because there's something about having a passion that is propagated by the Lord and His Spirit that makes you unbuyable.
Right.
And we've seen that with y'all. You're unbuyable because you cannot be quenched, because you have a passion for the Lord and then for the community. That's what Moses went through, right? Moses could not. Pharaoh had all them. He could have bought Moses off, but he could not be bought because he met a burning bush somewhere and had a passion that could not. Aaron could be bought. We've seen that, but Moses could not be bought. And I think that's what we're struggling from. Is that different ones get parachuted in, or they're sent in to come into.
And you remember when we started. I'll never forget it. I'm gonna go back to it. I'll never forget it. They asked us. They said, we had a meeting one time. They said, "Where's your passion? Why do you have this passion?" And I said, "Listen, I'm just trying to get to heaven."
Right.
That's what I said. I said I've done enough dirt on this side of heaven.
Right.
I'm just trying to make it in. So if I can help somebody along the way, that's what I'm going to do. This is what they told us. They looked at me in my face. They said, "Reverend, we understand all that, but you're not going to get too far preaching that cross."
See?
So they told me.
That's not what you said. What'd you say? He died on
Friday
and he rose
on Sunday.
Sure
I said that's the foundation of what we stand on. 2016, that was our agenda. He died on Friday, rose on Sunday. That was our agenda. They said we will get nowhere with that.
They wrote him a check. Somebody wrote you a check.
Wrote me a check. They tried to pay me out. They tried to get me out the way. All of that. But we held fast.
Yes.
We've lost some along the way.
Yes.
And we've lost some church folk along the way.
Oh yeah.
But we kept going.
Okay, this struggle is not easy.
No,
it's not going to be easy. And if it was not easy, it was not easy for when Jesus came here, and we're talking about the church. That's why he came here, so he would see all of the temptations, all of the things that we had to go through, and to see if he could withstand them, and he did. And so before he required us to do it, he did it himself. Okay? And so I say, and I share with everybody, and a long time when many ministers I've talked to, they go, we need to keep politics out of church. Certainly one of the folks down south, because they know they preach it on Sunday morning. But anyway, is that we need to keep politics out of church. I said, politics have always been in the church. Always been in the church. There's nothing that happened is not political. Nothing that happened.
How we vote in the church is political. Robinson rules of war.
And then we have to learn that, like you said, you started out and it was a lot. Yeah. And then it dwindled down. And I said, 2 or 3. We have to learn. It don't take. You can have 20, and they're not right. You're not gonna get anywhere. And you can have 2.
That's
or 3 that's doing the work, and you can make some mountains move.
90% of the time, we'll look up and see each other.
Right.
And we won't see nobody else.
Right.
Now I will say this: we do have some who have been there with us, in the background, who's been working with us. But we've looked up, and it's just been me.
But let me just tell you, one of the things that I say to people all the time in my years of leadership is that's okay. The NAACP have lots of members. That some of them don't never come to a meeting. They don't never come to me. They send us that $30 membership.
Yeah.
But and if you're not going to come and your heart is in the right place, you know that we need some funding to do what we're going to do. That helps us also.
Absolutely.
And there are some people, God did not make everybody a leader. We have to understand that he gave all of us a purpose.
That's right.
And he did not make all of us know what lane you're supposed to be in.
That's right.
And know what you are capable of. So why for me, I hate math. I hate math.
Me too.
I have to do it. I have to do it to halfway keep my checkbook. But anyway, I hate math. My husband was very good at it, thank God. And what would I look like telling NAACP to let me be his treasurer? What would I look like when my checkbook Thank God he put enough in there that it's okay.
Right,
But if you ask me today, Mary, how much is in your checkbook? You know, I put enough over there. First one, how much is in your check? I don't know how much is in my checkbook. I know I'm not going to drain it dry.
Right.
You know, because finances
passion.
is not my thing.
Yeah.
I hate it. You know, I hate it. So, but you'll have people that say, "Oh, I'm the treasurer of the NAACP." Oh, you know, oh, I'm the president. You're the president. You know, you can't talk, and you know, you can't carry you can't carry a meeting, and you want to be chairman of something.
Well, people want titles, and there's nothing worse than having a group of people, and everybody wants a title, and can't nobody do the work. So you've got all these people, because like you said, it's they quick to stand up and say, I'm the leader of this and I'm the leader of that, but you have met in a year, you know, and when you meet, you're ready to go because you really don't have time, you don't have that passion, you don't have that heart. So the good thing is that when you said you look up and you see each other, you got each other. And so that's the good thing. Yeah, and so with that, you know, build on that.
Because what you can build on it. What you do is you go ahead and make the plans and say, and they know with the NAACP, they laugh at me because I say, when we bring an idea, it's a good idea, and I go, look, I'm gonna be out there. If I'm out there by myself, I'm gonna be out there. I've never been out there by myself. You just go on and do. And when you go to a meeting one time and people go, well, I can't come, and you try to set it up and they can't come for a couple of times, what you do is you decide on what day you're going to have your meeting. This is the day we're going to have my meeting. And if you two show up, have your meeting. You weren't here, you didn't have your say. That's the way I operate. I say 2 or 3 show up, we're going to move right on and get this job done. And I bet you if 2 or 3 of you show up, and I have to do a demonstration, I bet you it won't be 2 or 3 people. See, because then you do the work to get the other people, you know, involved.
And I think that's one of the bigger problems is that, like you said, some of us don't know how to stay in our lane, and so we're operating out of order. Just let me say that you operate out of order, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have any secretarial skills, don't be a secretary.
That's it, right?
You know, everybody can't be a number 1.
Right.
Some people it has to be a number 2,
right?
And sometimes it's in you to be a number 2. And the great thing how we work together, I know what I'm capable of doing. Like I tell the Marks all the time. I said the reason why I know myself so well because I know what I'm not, and so what I'm not, he's right there, and it's vice versa. That's how we operate. And so, you know, we have to identify who we are, like you said, what we bring to the table, what we can do to enhance one another, so that we can move the community forward. Because I'm telling you, Columbia, it's if we're not careful, we are going to lose our history of what's here.
Real.
I look at Ward 1. We're not even there no more. They have pushed us out to 2 and 3, and they did that by giving everyone Section 8 vouchers and moving us out. And just because now we're in the SEC, you want downtown to look pretty and all that, but at the same time, you're bulldozing over historical property, and you're bulldozing over our communities where our people grew up at. And so these are the things that we're looking at.
See, a lot of people don't realize that, like those houses. They come in, and the houses that used to be black folks living in, they've moved everybody out into the county. And now, white folks have moved in those houses. The grant money comes into the city for those houses in the city. And so they buy these houses for $35,000, $40,000. They get grant money and fix the house up and have to live there 2 years. And then they sell that house for $100 and something thousand, and they move out. And another person moves in and does the same thing. But we've been moved out of there. We did not get the opportunity. My understanding when they were doing all the renovating downtown in that area anyway, was that they were going to temporarily was the word, move African Americans out while they renovated that area. And then they were going to have first dibs to come back and but that didn't happen. And so we're not in that area anymore. If you walk through Ward 1, you might be lucky to see a couple of us living.
And if you go
sprinkled throughout.
And one of the things that we noticed when we go, doing voter registration at through the public housing.
Yeah.
Downtown. And you know, you have and I want to make this clear. I am no way against the foreigners coming to Columbia.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
We were all foreigners.
Right, right.
And I'm not against, but in public housing, we don't have any African American folks hardly anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Right.
And that bothers me because that's right down, you know, in the central
Well, and what happened, because we was at a meeting, and what happened was our housing authority guy wanted to brag about how the crime was down and how the numbers were down, but I had to raise the question, why though? Why is that? Who's there now that wasn't there before? Oh, well, you know, we gave Section 8 vouchers to all the ones who were there. I know you did. And then you brought in immigration. Again, I'm not against immigration.
Right.
But what I am saying though is you can't tell the community that crime is down because of something that we did. No, what you did was you moved the people who were out and brought in immigration.
You gotta look at the play. So the people that they bring in, the Afghan refugees, the Hispanics who come in, and we love that they're here, but they come in here off of asylum. So they don't have rights. They can't vote, and they can be done with as they are, as the city feels like. We have rights, right? So they just can't move. So what happened at Unity Project? You go walk around Unity. Like I said at the meeting, Sister Ratliff, you might need a passport. Because ain't a lot of us, and the ones that you think look like you don't speak English, and so they did that for a reason. So the ones who are moving out, I kept an eye on it because I saw what happened elsewhere. I was like, what is? Because it's illegal for them to tell them they got to leave and can't come back. So when they leave temporarily, and then they entice them to take the Section 8 voucher over here in Ward 3 or 2 because the house is better, and we're gonna give you this duplex, and so you can choose this or you can go on back to Unity, and they entice them with that. So obviously they choose that, and then they can't stay there long because that property owner then says, "Oh, I'm remodeling all this. You gotta go somewhere else." And I'm up in the astronomical percentages, right?
For something that's not worked.
Not work
Absolutely.
at all. And so then they're not there, and so then they can pick and choose. Like park ain't gonna stay in public housing much longer. They're gonna pick and choose because those immigrants can go elsewhere. They don't have a say, and that's the play. If our people, it's like y'all talk about the Willie Lynch, or we talk about Carter G. Woodson. If I can get you to have a subservient mind, you'll ask for the back door. That's what we've been suffering with in Columbia is we're asking for the back door and don't realize that is a state of mind. How many people want Sister Ratliff's position? It's like, you ain't out here doing no work.
Exactly.
But so you wonder why Sister Ratliff in these meetings, but you ain't doing no work. Where you at?
Where you at?
You want, it's like the mindset is we're indoctrinated to hate our own image.
We want the cake already baked with the icing on and all that, but we don't want to put in the process to do it. Right. We like all the glitz and the glamour, but we don't want to get down in the dirt, in the mud to do anything. So my question is this too, because if we look at how our African American population has moved out of Ward 1, how did that affect the ministries of the churches, right? Because you have Second, you have Fifth Street, you have St. Paul, you have St. Luke, you have Progressive, you had all in Ward 1. And so if our people are not in Ward 1, what does the church do? Does the church continue to serve Ward 1? Or do we now go expand out to 2 and 3 because our people are no longer there?
And they can't get to church.
And they can't get to church.
I remember when I was young, people walked to church. People would walk to church. I remember I lived on Pendleton, 19 Pendleton, where Georgia and Arthur Bush lived. People would walk to church. And the bus was for the elderly who could not walk to church. So Randolph Ricketts was my grandfather. He would drive the bus and he would go pick up the elderly people who could not walk, but people would walk to church. When you move everybody out to county and all that, they can't walk to church. They're not going to church. And so then we have a dual issue of church attendance. And then if people pull away from the church, this is something even in the Willie Lynch. If we can break down the community, we can break down the mindset. They have broken down the community. So this is why we had the violence. They want to point to after school programs. No, it's the church. If we can build our communities back up and have, I remember when something would go on, we was always marching a second. We would have to walk on down. You better not. You better not. Are you grandma and them? You going a second. We going down here. They're gonna tell us what's going on. We're gonna listen. If we gotta give money, we're gonna give money. If y'all kids, when we were there because it was a community. It didn't matter whose kid it was or what was going on, and they would educate.
And so that's one of the things that we are missing nowadays is that our children are missing the fact that, and I tell my everybody that I can, that we can't make it without God in our lives. And I know that people out there don't like to hear, but I tell them in every meeting I am, I say, now the first thing I tell you, I'm Christian, okay? So you need to know that that I can't do anything that I don't feel like God would be pleased with, because He allowed me to be. And we have to hold on to that. And I'm glad that you all are out here holding that on as African American men, because when people will see that you're doing well and things are going well, they will come along. And they will, some of them try to knock you off your pier, but don't just. But they just said, just hold on.
Just hold on.
Just hold on. You have to look for. You were talking about things that you can do to kind of unite. Housing is a big thing. They are. I look up here, it saddens me because where they're building here on corner Sexton, that was my grandfather's house.
Wow.
That was there. That was
right beside that
right
house.
There. That one little house on the corner.
And then the driveway.
That was Grandpa's house.
The driveway.
So all I remember is playing in that little area. The point is that now they're building housing or something there. How is that going? I'm sitting here hoping that I see some of us living on that property that I remember running around playing on. And I'm hoping that it's not, I'm going to look up and it's going to be something that's not recognizable with my people in that area. And so a common thing to work towards is housing. What are we going to do about housing for our people in Columbia? Because it's a lot of people that need housing. Enough of the rent. Yeah. Enough of the slumlords.
Yeah.
We don't have to do that. Section 8 is not working for us. Right. They take and put you in a piece of property that should be $300 or $400 a month, and they're charging $800 and $1,000 because it's Section 8. Right. So when you get there, it's just not. But I'm saying the property isn't worth more than that. They're not investing into that property out there. They're not investing in the neighborhoods out there. When we did voter registration that one year, you were so disgusted you called because of the garbage that was out there. The kids were playing in a puddle of water with garbage because that was like their little pool area out there, and nobody was saying anything because that was okay because it was our kids. And so what we need to do is find a way that we make sure, they have HUD housing. They have an area out there going towards Elm Grove, and it's HUD housing. I've been watching that, and the houses go up. How many of us are in there? I have yet to see any. Now I could be missing something, but I have yet to see any, and they're at like house 20 now.
Exactly. We have one more thing that we want to do before we leave here. So, as a Southern Christian Leadership Conference, we are hosting a conference, Martin Luther King weekend. And so during that, we are hoping to have a banquet on that Saturday. And in that, we have some Lifetime Achievement Awards and some Legacy Awards. And so we announced already one of our Lifetime Achievement Awards will be Reverend David P. Ballinger for his service in the faith community. But also we know, as far as serving on the school board, we know that he's a realtor and all the other stuff that he does in the community. So we wanted to recognize him, and now we want to recognize you as well too, Sister Ratliff, at that banquet. So we want you to have all your family there. We're going to give you an award. We're going to plaque you. We're going to do all that good stuff. But we want to recognize the work that you have put in here in Columbia. We know it hasn't been easy, but when we thought about doing the Lifetime Achievement Awards, you instantly came to the top of the list. And so we want to honor you, that Saturday at our banquet. We'll get more information out. I know we were working together on doing something Martin Luther King weekend, so you can't work with us on that part. You can't work with us on that part. But we do want to announce that today. That we do.
Very good. And we want to really turn it out for the Martin Luther King weekend. And of course, we will be there on that Monday.
That's right. We'll be there.
I know you all will be there. And we are going to, but I'm just saying, let me say this before you all leave. When we talk about what we can do, starting right here now, we're not just speaking for ourselves because Valerie would be right here. She was able, she had surgery. And there are other people. But we are saying right here with the four of us here right now, that we're talking about housing. we're going to talk about it again. We're going to get together, and I share with everybody that I don't ever meet in a meeting that I go into a meeting just to meet. I want to go in to make some say just do something.
There you go.
Do something.
Do something.
Don't just have meetings to say we got this problem. You know, that's what so many people do. They'll say, oh, we got this problem in Columbia. Oh, this is so bad and this is so bad. What are you willing to do about helping change it? You can't make anything happen yourself, but you can help. You can make a change by the things you do. So we want to stay together, work together, and to be able to promote. We can promote you. You can promote. We're promoting one another because actually you're on our executive committee anyway. So, but anyway, we will be working together, and so we aren't going to keep you all very long. So if you have a quick closing, then we'll give it to Pam to close us.
So I'll say this, that we don't miss we don't miss a Monday, and whether it be the 17th, 8th, whatever that day is, we don't miss a Monday for MLK. Because it's important to the community, and I didn't know it was in my heritage. Apparently, both my grandfathers on both sides didn't miss a Monday, and I take the whole day off. Like I don't play. Look, we there, and it's just a support, because this may be controversial, but I've put in for the chamber when they do their lifetime achievements. I put in Sister Mary's name. And had to this last time had to throw a fit because they asked me to put in. I said, I don't think Miss Mary got no award. I wasn't given information that I said no. So we'll do our own awards. Don't sit here with you have someone the chamber. I know of a situation with the realtor boards in town that there was some stuff going on that was race baiting and different things, and had Miss Mary not went in there, we would have had a whole different situation. And you handled it quietly. I know for a fact, I know 2 real estate agents who work in that brokerage. You did a fantastic job because they were trying to incite violence and everything through it. And we wouldn't have a lot of these businesses doing what they're doing had there not been an NAACP presence. Right. I remember the first Monday when I moved back to Columbia to come to a Dr. King thing. It was cold, there was snow on the ground, and I seen Pam out here putting these things, putting the papers on the windows. Y'all about to work. And so it took everything. I had to get out and help. I said, I gotta get out here. I can't have a sister out here doing this. I get out and freezing. And then a couple others came around, but it's like y'all are carrying this, and y'all about the work. Jesus said, the greatest among you is gonna be your servants. They're gonna be laborers. That's it. And that's what y'all about. And so y'all have our support. The other end to that too is, look, we are going to be working together. Yes. And we will talk about housing because it's huge. Yeah. But we also need people to get out there and vote. Yes. If you're not voting, look, get out there and go vote. It's legal, right? If you got to work, tell them you want to go vote. They got to let you go vote. Get out there and go vote.
Yes. Ditto to everything you said. We just thank you all for the opportunity for the platform. When you're out here doing the work, sometimes you think no one's watching or no one's paying attention, but we know they're watching. Thank you, Sister Ratliff, for the work that you do, and Pam, thank you for the work that you do, because I know Sister Mary wouldn't be able to do what she do if it wasn't for you. So I know she feels the same way about that too. But I thank God for you all, what you all doing here in the community. We're just trying to build on what you all have already laid. You've laid the foundation. Harold Warren's laid the foundation. Wanda Faye, Miss Stella Johnson. I mean, these are all the ones in our community that's laid the foundation. We just want to come in and build upon it, not destroy it, not to tear it down, but to build upon it brick by brick, because we want someone else to build on what we're putting down as well too.
And that's the bridge. First, let me just say this before that. And that's the bridge that I'm talking about.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm talking about the bridge, unbroken bridge. I'm talking about not building a bridge halfway to get you to where you need to go and stop. I'm just talking about us building the bridge and handing it over to that next generation.
That's right.
Because what I see in Pam, you coming along behind me makes me very proud, because I know that you're going to carry the work on. That's right. And that's what it's all about. Yes, it's carrying on. So thank you all so much.
Thank you.
And so,
thank you.
Pam. Yes, and we do. We want to thank you all for being here today. I hope that you all have enjoyed our topic today of discussion. And we said we would call this "Let's Do It," and so that's what we wanted to talk about today. Was let's just do it. Let's not just sit down and we want to be about it. A few quick things that we would like to remind you of is the League of Women Voters is going to have a parade, or be in a parade, the MU parade. And so anyone that is a part of When She Votes or that is a part of the League of Women Voters, please come out and help participate in that on October 19th. There will be panel discussion. We have talked about Willie Lynch, a panel discussion. You don't want to miss that. If you're in Columbia, if you're not, try to be here October 26th. It's going to be held down at Second Baptist Church at 11 to 2, and that will be the breakdown of the Willie Lynch speech on that day. We're also asking all organizations to come participate with the NAACP to line the streets here in Columbia from City Hall down to Providence Road. City Hall, Providence Road. We want everybody to be shoulder to shoulder. Wear your organizational shirts. Bring your signs out. We want to line up that street with Get Out and Vote signs. Want to remind everybody that is October 28th here in Columbia, Missouri. Also, there's a candidates forum October 29th, and that will be held at Second Missionary Baptist Church at 7 p.m. So if you have any other Get Out the Vote ideas that you would like to present us, please send us that to us at truthofthematter1@gmail.com. Truthofthematter1@gmail.com. We want to take this opportunity to thank DeMarcus Thomas Brown and Reverend
Thank you.
Marcus Richardson for being here and being a guest on our podcast here today. We hope that we have enlightened you on the importance of breaking down that Willie Lynch mentality, getting together, working together, being united, trying to move forward, and our men stepping forward in a leadership role. So we are excited that you all are taking the lead on that. And we just want you all, if you're not in Columbia, take heed. We've got it going on here. We want you to get it going on there, wherever you are, with that, the men taking the lead and stepping out. So thank you for being here today. And we just want you all to know that the truth of the matter is staying on top of what's going on in the world today. And we would like you to be a part of that by joining us on our podcast.
And the truth of the matter is.